Buenas tardes. So we're looking at stem changers in the subjunctive tense again. As a definition, remember, subjunctive mood is used to express that which is not necessarily true or real. It expresses things that might happen, that you hope or want to happen. Now remember, just because you want those things to happen or because they might happen doesn't necessarily ensure the outcome, in which case you would need subjunctive tense. Subjunctive tense is used in the dependent clause when the independent clause gives advice or makes suggestions, when the independent clause expresses doubt or uncertainty, or when it expresses emotional reactions, as you will see in this chapter. Now, in case you don't remember how to form the subjunctive tense, remember, you take the verbs, you conjugate for yo, drop the o, change the vowel, add your ending. So you've done that. If it's a go verb, if you're conjugating for nosotros, it would be tengo, drop the o, change the vowel, and then it would be tengamos, adding your ending. For ustedes, if the verb is tener for ustedes, it would be tengan, and etc. Okay, so now we're looking at the verbs, but they're going to be stem changers in subjunctive tense. Okay, so I gave you a list of verbs here, which you will see. There you go, you have a list of them, and I gave you the stem change next to each one of them, and then I'll define those also for you. Cerrar to close, perder to lose, encontrar to find, poder to be able to, sentar to sit, dormir to sleep, pedir to ask for, to request, servir to serve, and then we have preferir to prefer. Okay, so the first thing to remember, the first few that I gave you are really easy ones. So let's conjugate some of these verbs in subjunctive tense. Okay, we're going to take the first one, and let me scroll down just a little bit. And the verb is cerrar, to close. Okay, so if we're going to conjugate, well, I'll scroll down a little bit further. Okay. All right, so if we're going to conjugate this verb in all forms, remember, subjunctive tense, you can form all forms. So you're just going to honor the stem change just like you used to. Remember the shoe verb? Same thing here, okay? So it's going to be cierre. Right, because I started with yo, when I conjugated for yo, it would have been cierro, then I dropped the o, and then I changed opposite vowels. So the AR, do you remember how this had an AR right here? So we're going to go opposite vowels, so that's going to change to an E. Okay, and then I'm adding an ending, but for yo there is no ending. Next one, cierres, cierre. Okay, now, remember, honor the shoe. Remember, nosotros, vosotros are never inside the shoe. Cerremos. See, I still changed my vowel, and then I added the ending, but here I didn't stem change because nosotros, vosotros is left outside the shoe. Cerréis. And then the last one, oops, cierro. See how that worked? Easy enough, right? Oops, I forgot my accent mark there. Okay, so let's conjugate the next verb that we have, and the other one is perder. Perder, to lose. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Conjugate for yo, it would be pierdo, drop the o, change the vowel. It's an ER verb, if you can see that right here. So we're going to change the vowel, opposite vowel goes to an A. Pierda, pierdas, pierda. Okay, and then remember again here, nosotros is not inside the shoe, so it would be perdamos. Oh no, that was too long, wasn't it? How about there? Perdamos. And then here we go, stem change again, because this is in your shoe, and then these top two are in your shoe. Oops, go away. These top two are in your shoe, and then nosotros and vosotros would be left out. Hence, we didn't stem change there. See? Okay, so can you handle that? Easy enough, right? Okay, so here's the trick. Stem change, if the verb is a stem changer in present tense, you're going to stem change in subjunctive tense, honor the shoe. That means you leave out nosotros, vosotros. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. Unless the verb ends in IR, in which case you're going to stem change in all forms. When you get to nosotros, vosotros, you lose the second vowel if it has one. Okay, and we'll illustrate that here in just a second. Okay, so one more time. If the verb is a stem changer in present tense, then you're going to stem change in subjunctive tense, honor the shoe. Unless the verb ends in IR, you stem change in all forms. That means nosotros and vosotros as well. And if the verb has a second vowel, then you drop the second vowel in nosotros, vosotros. Okay, so let's see what that means. Okay, we'll start with an easy one like pedir, okay? Pedir. Is it a stem changer in present tense? Yes. To ask for, to order, to request, etc. Okay, so stem change. Now look, remember, analyze the verb. Is this a stem changer in present tense? Yes. Does it end in IR? Yes. So that means it's going to stem change in all forms. Okay, so first thing you would do, you'd conjugate for you'll, drop the O, change the vowel. Okay? Done. See how easy that was? Okay, let's do another one. Let's do servir. Okay, E to I stem changer. Conjugate for yo, drop the O, change the vowel. Sirva. Sirvas. Sirva. Sirvamos. Sirvais. And sirvan. See how that worked? Okay, so again, because these verbs end in IR, then you're not going to be honoring the shoe anymore. You're stem changing in all forms. Now, did you hear what I said about if it has a second vowel, you lose the second vowel? Okay, so neither of these two that we did, neither pedir nor servir, we didn't have to worry about losing a second vowel, nosotros, vosotros, because those don't have a second vowel. And what I mean by that, your stem change is just an E to I. Okay, so let's look at the next one that we have. We have the verb dormir, to sleep. Okay, so what's the stem change on this verb? Right, it's O to UE. So you have a second vowel here. Okay, so let's conjugate. I'm just going to scroll down just a little bit. There we go. So conjugate for yo, duermo, drop the O, change the vowel, duerma. Okay, easy enough, right? Okay, so now we have, and then you know this one's going to be duerman. Okay, so let's look at nosotros, vosotros. Remember I said lose the second vowel. So in the O to UE stem changer, you're going to lose the E. So you would come out with durmamos. See what we did there? And then for vosotros, you would say durmais. There you go, okay? And then let's do another one. Another O to UE stem changer is morir, to die. And then again, this is going to be O to UE. So let's conjugate this verb in subjunctive tense. Muero, remember, drop the O, change the vowel, muera. Mueras. Muera. And then you can do vosotros, or nosotros, I'm sorry, excuse me. Ustedes, ellos, ellas would be mueran, right? But remember what we said. We're going to get to nosotros and vosotros, and we're going to drop the second vowel. See how we're doing that? And then here we're going to come out with murais. All right, so see how that worked? Okay, so just to review the endings. Okay, so, or not the endings, but let's review the rules if you need to. Okay, so stem changers in subjunctive. Okay, so if the stem changer, I'm sorry, let's start over. If the verb is a stem changer in present tense, honor the shoe. Unless the verb ends in IR, then okay, let's see if this makes sense. I'm going to scroll this down so that we can see it all on one page. Okay, so stem changers in subjunctive. If the verb is a stem changer in present tense, you honor the shoe. That means you leave out nosotros, vosotros, right? Unless the verb, there's no period there. Unless the verb ends in IR, then you'll stem change in all forms but lose the second vowel if there is one in nosotros and vosotros. Easy enough, right? And then remember the steps. Start with the yo, drop the O, change the vowel, add your ending. Remember, changing the vowel means opposite vowels. AR verb goes to E, ER, IR verb goes to A. Okay, and if you have any questions about this, let me know. I know it's a little bit confusing, but if you have any questions, please make sure you ask me during class. Gracias.